What's going on? Welcome to the video. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's a rainy day here in New York today, and me and Nigel are just hanging out. So I figured it was a good time to sit down and tell you a little bit about my background and how I became a personal trainer. And I've been wanting to do this for a while now. I just haven't gotten around to actually just sitting down and doing it. So if you don't care about my background or about learning some things about me that maybe you didn't know, then obviously you can just skip this video and no hard feelings, right? I'll get back to my usual videos and content about, more educational stuff about fitness, maybe picking some things up, some tips that you can learn, and workout videos. I'll get back to that in the next video. But I feel like it's important that I share this because if you're someone who is watching my videos and consuming my content and maybe learning some stuff from the stuff that I put out there, it's good for you to know about my background and about my credentials and stuff like that, because the truth is there's a lot of people right now making content and making videos and, saying that they'll coach people, but a lot of them are not actual professionals. A lot of them don't have experience actually helping other individuals. So now here we go, how I got started in the fitness industry. Now back in high school, I played on the basketball team and we had practice for 2 hours every single day after school. And when I went off to college, I went to Adelphi University on Long Island, I didn't continue playing competitively. So I had those 2 hours now free, which I replaced with exercising. I wanted to stay active, I wanted to stay healthy, and I replaced that with going to the gym and working out. And I was really training hard and getting into it for a good year or two. So sophomore year of college, I decided to go ahead and get certified as a personal trainer and, work as a personal trainer. So I got certified through NASM, which is the National Academy of Sports Medicine. And that's one of the more well-known organizations that certifies personal trainers. And I later went on to get a nutrition specialist certification through NASM as well, and a few others that, to be honest, it's nice to have, but I didn't necessarily learn a whole lot from those things, and the techniques and strategies I use with my clients today are much more based on my own experience and experience working with plenty of clients over the years. So shortly after I got certified, I started working at a really small, privately owned personal training studio in Roslyn, New York, which was very close to school, Adelphi at the time. And it was just me, the owner of the business, and one full-time employee who was also a trainer. So really it was 2 trainers for the entire business. And at this studio, I really learned a whole lot. I learned the basics of really how to train people, how to motivate them during a workout session, how to draw up a workout routine for them, and progressively coach them over many months. It was really great. And I coached mainly adults here who were not, professional athletes or trying to compete or anything like that. They were just, normal people who work, full-time jobs, come here before and after work, and needed to stay healthy and needed to stay strong. And I worked here for about a year before I moved on to become a trainer at Equinox, which was a pretty big adjustment for me because I went from working at a tiny little one-room personal training studio and being one of 2 trainers to working at an enormous luxury health club that I was one of 35 trainers, and we were all competing for the same clients. But overall, that was also a really good experience. I met some great colleagues who were obviously more experienced than me and ahead in their careers, and I could kind of see how they approached working with clients and, their career paths that they took. So it was really good overall. Now, as I was graduating college is when I started my own business called Rose Fitness NY and started training my own private clients instead of training in the gym, because leaving college, I had landed a full-time corporate job in the financial industry, which is what I thought I should be doing, and I still wanted to stay connected to the fitness industry because it was my passion. So over the next 3 years or so, I worked a full-time job in the corporate world and literally spent every hour outside of that full-time job training private clients around New York City. I would go on into Manhattan and train clients at 5 and 6 a.m. And then change into my, business clothes and head on over to the office. And then after work, I would change back into my gym clothes, travel to my other clients around the city and train more clients from 6 to 7 to 8 p.m. and then I would go home. So I was mostly training clients in their own building gyms because in Manhattan, most of the residential buildings have gyms inside them. So I would travel to their building, train them, and I would kind of have to move all around New York City to meet up with my clients. But I also did rent out some space in 1 or 2 small personal training studios that were of a convenient location near a lot of my other clients. And I have to tell you, renting out space as a personal trainer in New York City is not cheap. But as you can imagine, my schedule got filled up pretty quickly because there's only so many clients you can work with. If you're working 50 hours a week at a corporate job, there's only so many open slots before and after work that I could meet up with clients. So at that point, what I did was I started building a team of trainers to help out. Because it got to the point where I couldn't fit any more clients into my schedule, and I thought if I brought on some trainers onto the Rose Fitness NY team, I could set up new clients with those trainers, and the team and the clientele could continue to grow. So I ended up interviewing a bunch of trainers over the course of many months, and ended up hiring 2 or 3 of them at various points to take on some clients and join the team. And at the time, Morgan was also working in the fitness industry as well as dance, and she was, leading group fitness classes, and I actually handed off and passed her a few clients as well, and she was training some of our clients. So turns out we had a pretty decent roster of clients and things were going pretty well, aside from the fact that I was still working a corporate job 50 hours a week that I really didn't care about at all. Looking back on it, I kind of wish that I quit sooner and just pursued fitness full-time out of college, but the truth is you learn from every experience you have, and I have no regrets in the path that I took. Because to be quite honest, I actually realized that I could very much relate to a lot of the clients that I was working with even better, knowing what they were going through, sitting at a desk for 10 hours a day and commuting, and what type of nutrition programs and schedules were going to be optimal for them. I was easily able to relate to a lot of my clients. So that's my experience and how I got started as an in-person personal trainer working with clients in the gym. And then in 2017 is when I started coaching clients online, and I created the Modern Man program, which is a movement and a community of men from all over the world who support and motivate each other to not only get in great shape, but become better men. And since I started this program in 2017, it really has been amazing. I've had the privilege of working with over 100 men over the last few years, and really been able to build a close bond with many of them. And I've been able to see some really inspiring transformations, not just physically and people building a better body, but guys who I've become really close friends with. I've seen them grow as men and create better lives for themselves over the last 2, 3, 4 years. So for the last 4 years, this program and coaching people online has really been the main focus of my work, just because I enjoy it so much. In 2018 and 2019, I did also lead some corporate fitness classes for various companies throughout New York City, but that was cool. But where my main passion is and what I enjoy most is coaching people online, as opposed to being in the gym with them and working with them as a personal trainer. And about 1.5 years ago, we had our first Modern Man meetup, where a bunch of us in the Northeast who are in the program met up in Manhattan to do a workout together and then to grab lunch together afterwards. And it really was amazing, because these are guys who I've been communicating with every day and have been communicating with each other and formed friendships that have never actually met up in person. So it just took, the community to another level to be able to actually meet up in person and spend time together. And then, believe it or not, 2 weeks after this Modern Man meetup is when COVID happened and shut all the gyms down, all the businesses down here in New York, and we weren't able to do another meetup until this year. We've actually planned our second Modern Man meetup. Now that people are getting vaccinated, things are starting to open up again and transition back to a more normal way of living. In June, we're meeting up again in the Northeast, and we're going to do a workout together and spend some time together. And one thing that happened as a result of COVID and the whole situation that's been going on the last 1.5 years is that demand for online coaching has absolutely skyrocketed because gyms closing down, forcing people to train at home or forcing people to, figure out their fitness and their nutrition without their in-person trainer or without their gym. It really makes it so that you need to know exactly what you're doing. You need to have an actual game plan. You have to have a strategy. You can't just wing it and still see good results. So this last year or so, I've completely transitioned to just working with clients online, helping them with the strategies and the protocols and the accountability that's going to actually help them see results. And I've pretty much completely stopped working with people, as private clients in Manhattan. But that's not to say that I wouldn't ever take on more clients in person for personal training again, because I think I definitely would. I think there's value in that for every trainer and every coach, and I could see taking on 2 or 3 in-person clients just to stay sharp, just to stay fresh. And if you ever come across like an online coach who's, offering a program or an online coaching service who's never actually trained clients in person before, to me that's a huge red flag, and they're at a huge disadvantage if they don't have that experience. Now, one final piece of my background and my experience that I want to share with you that I learned a massive amount from was competing in a men's natural physique competition back in 2018. This is actually something that I didn't want to do at all. The reason I signed up for it and committed to it was because it was so out of my comfort zone that I figured there was no way that I was gonna do this and not grow as an individual and become a better person. So what I did was I hired some contest prep coaches to help me prepare and do as good as possible for this competition. And this was really good, and I learned so much from this because while I was a personal trainer and I had experience helping other people get in better shape, I didn't have experience in the competition prep world, which is very different. And man, I have to tell you, in the 6 months that I took to prepare for this and hiring these coaches and working with them and seeing how they served me as their client, I learned way more about nutrition, way more about strength training, way more about exercise than I ever had from any of those certifications that I did. And I learned what it really takes to eat a certain way and to train a specific way to really change and sculpt your physique as opposed to just doing it to be healthy. And not only did I learn an incredible amount about nutrition and macros and strength training and physique, but I realized that having that accountability, paying coaches each month to keep me accountable and to actually follow through on the programs I already kind of knew I should be doing, was really the game changer that led to seeing extraordinary results that I had never seen before. When there's money on the line that you don't want to waste, you're going to be way more diligent with your nutrition. You're actually going to be way more consistent and follow through on what you already know you should do. And when you know that someone else is going to be seeing what you're eating and someone else who's going to be, giving you feedback on how you're doing, naturally you want to make those coaches proud and you want to be a good client for them and make them happy. It's in our nature as humans. So that is what really makes it so that you see much better results. And it was from this experience that I came to the conclusion that having a coach for myself is something that I want to have going forward indefinitely. Maybe I'll feel different about that someday, but right now I can't imagine not having a coach handling my strength training program for me, handling my nutrition, just telling me what to do with my nutrition and keeping me accountable. Even though I'm a trainer and even though I know what workouts would be good for me and I know what macros and nutrition would be good for me, that accountability, that skin in the game to actually stick to it and be diligent with it and be consistent with it is so incredibly valuable. It's such a small investment for the reward that I'm getting from it. And the reason I'm telling you this is not because I'm trying to spin it into telling you that, oh, because I have a coach, you have to have one too. Like, that's not the point of this. The reason I'm telling you is because I'm trying to show you that I am a lifelong learner and a student of the game, right? There's never a point where I want to stop learning about fitness and exercise and strength training and macros and nutrition. And I'm continuously learning from people who are more experienced than I am in various areas of the industry. And I'm sure I'll do more certifications and I'll do more courses and stuff like that. But from my experience over the last 8 or 9 years being a coach, I've learned the most from hands-on experience working with my clients and hiring coaches for myself. And there you have it, man. That is the story of how I got started in the fitness industry and working as a personal trainer. I hope you learned something today about me, maybe that you didn't know before, and I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you did, go ahead and click subscribe so you can get notified when I make more videos just like this one every single week. And if you want to connect with me, you can check out the links below in the description of this video. I've got a free resources, some things that you can maybe get some value from. And other than that, I'll be back to my normal, fitness tips and workout videos going forward, and I will see you on the next video.